Welcome to Xbox Uncut's weekly podcast. This is episode 320, and we are back to cover up all the mistakes that Microsoft just made. That's right, we're just a propaganda piece. Ain't that right, Will? That's right. Pure propaganda. Yep, it's what we do. It's what we believe in. All right, let's see. Propaganda piece number one. We have Phil Spencer heaps praise on Nintendo. You know, when you don't got nothing, you got to heap praise on others.
Yeah. Hey, what else is new with him?
Yeah, I know. I put this in originally as a fluff piece, but it was one of those like this isn't like different than whatever he says 9 times out of 10. He's one of those. He's the most kumbaya like game heads we've ever seen. It's just like, yeah, hope everybody does well. Like, and it's not sarcastic, you know. It's just like, yeah, go team.
I mean, I can't think of any other publisher that doesn't think well of Nintendo, so it's kind of not. It's kind of like a non-thing. I don't know.
I mean, most like I said, like Nintendo. Yeah. Well, no, but usually, you know, like he'll hit Sony with praise. He hits everybody with praise. There's just, you know.
Yeah, true. Very true.
All right, I know that was super interesting, and everybody cared about it. But you know, they had he did an interview about on Animal Crossing. Apparently, we were gonna originally delay the show just to cover what was in the interview, which there were some cool tidbits, but I had to work, and it just wouldn't have made sense, so we didn't record on Thursday. We kept our Wednesday broadcast time just like this week, and well, no, not like this week. This is Thursday. See, I'm crazy. But yeah, you know, he did this animal talking thing. Like there were tidbits like they considered taking Halo Infinite and launching it in parts, which would have been interesting. You know, like that definitely would have been different. Like I can see how that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know. How do you feel about games coming out in sections? Seeing as multiplayer is kind of its own huge thing nowadays. Like it kind of makes sense in this world we're living in, but I don't know. I'm glad it got delayed as a whole and not like this Warzone mode or whatever you want to call it, like multiplayer being its, you know, its own dedicated thing. Will, any feelings? No.
Sorry, I thought I took off the mute button.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess they wanted to sell it off as I guess they do want to sell it as a complete package instead of just like a multiplayer portion first and then single player. I mean, I don't think it really matters, but because a lot of people would just care about the multiplayer, and that's like a huge component of Halo too.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have mattered if they released it at a time, because that way it would have kept Halo players busy until the campaign. At least in that regard, I would see it as a good move. But then there's the people that kind of just want all in one like package where you want the campaign plus the multiplayer. So I guess they want to make it like a more feature-rich game instead of just the campaign. Yeah, I don't, you know, I don't know. I think it could have worked out either way, but just releasing it, I mean, releasing it as a whole package, I think just looks a little better on them, because that way they're not holding back content and stuff. So I don't know. I guess for me, either way, it would have worked. It's not a huge problem for me because I already play a lot of multiplayer games anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been nice to add, you know, it would just want added more to that.
All right. I mean, coming out of that interview specifically, I don't think there was much other bigger news out of it. Like that was kind of the little nugget that we got out of that interview. I mean, Bonnie Ross and Phil Spencer both apologized, and they knew people were excited, and they just wanted to come out early and explain why, like, the whole thing got delayed.
Yeah, I think that they also put like a lot of pressure on 343 for because a lot of people put the blame on 343 and rightfully so to a degree, but I think Microsoft also kind of plays around a little too much with the franchise. They kind of play fast and loose. Like the Master Chief Collection was really also supposed to be, I think, like Halo 2 remade, and then like 4.
Yeah, then they were like, let's just put everything in there. And it was like, yeah, right. And let's have 5 studios that are independent do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then 343 like had this huge fucking shitstorm on their lap, and it was like, fuck, we gotta fix this. And that's where they deserve their credit, is they, for the most part, did fix it, but it took years for 343 to rebuild this 5 studio abomination of a game.
Yeah, it was an overly ambitious thing. I mean, it's an awesome idea, but they should have done it in steps instead of
just like PC. Yeah,
exactly. So I think
if they would have had one studio, if they had just like, hey, 343 has another team and they're working on building, like, this is the Master Chief Collection. We're gonna, well, not even, I would call it like the Halo Collection, where they just, hey, we're gonna build one app that you play all your multiplayer and it's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's reached out beyond Master. ODST's there, Reach is there, so it's like the name doesn't even really fit anymore. Like, it's more of this. We want to have one spot where, like, on the Series X, I could see them making Master Chief Collection 120 frames per second, and you just have that built off of that engine. But at the same time, like, Halo 2 still runs, Anniversary runs like crap for me. That's all I know. I'm not happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they probably just cut the Master Chief Collection thing just for marketability, and probably like because it kind of all ties into Chief in some way, I guess. Like, it kind of leads to him. So I guess in that way they can kind of keep it. But
I'm not talking about the multiplayer either. Just campaign runs like crap. I was playing some Halo 2 Anniversary. It was really good multiplayer.
Oh yeah, I was playing Halo Reach.
All the other games run well. It's just Halo 2 Anniversary campaign is just performance-wise, it's being dogged. Like, it's just trashy.
On PC, that's weird.
No, I mean on Xbox. Xbox One X. Yeah.
Oh, the performance, you mean? Yeah, I think it's just the console is kind of struggling with it because it's trying to do that, like the 4K.
It's super pretty. I think it's probably the best looking Halo.
Yeah, it's pretty nice looking. Probably the most likely the One X. I mean, the Series X is gonna smooth out performance in all the games, because I think even the first one chugs pretty badly. Like the remake of the first Halo, Combat Evolved, which is disappointing. But I think it's because it's trying to achieve 4K 60, which is kind of a tall order. I mean, it mostly does it, but like you said, is a lot of like chugging and like performance issues. So I do think the Series X is going to smooth everything out. It's going to play pretty much very smoothly. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, so 343, yeah. So I think Microsoft kind of pushes the studio very hard. I mean, even during Halo 5, they had to put out a game in like 2 years, right? And like so I felt like the game was
the campaign out of anything. The campaign was the victim of the short life. The multiplayer people still play and love, and it's a fun game. I mean, all the multiplayer Halos, they have their fan bases. Even 4, like it, 4 has its charms. It just didn't, not to sound like all those Reddit fanboys, but it just didn't feel like Halo the same way other games. I
mean, now that you mentioned 4, you can trace it all the way even back to 4, where it should have launched as a launch for Xbox One instead of being like a late game 360 game, which was like, I feel like, I mean, I guess because they wanted the 360 not to feel like they just abandoned it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the tech, it still holds up. So it
looks gorgeous. Even on the Master Chief Collection, 4 is one of the best looking games. Like, it's insane. But Halo 2 Anniversary even though it chugs, like visually, it looks stunning. Like the art's beautiful. I think everything they redid was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it looks like almost like a modern game.
I think it looks modern. I just like, and I think it feels like it has the look of an original Halo. But I don't know. I would recommend people go back and check it out. Like it just looks really really pretty. Like the art, how they did the art was awesome because they definitely readjusted from Halo 1 Anniversary where they changed a lot of the art.
Yeah.
And people have or a mixed bag about it because it's Halo 1 Anniversary. There's a lot of it's a lot of complexity in the art versus like the regular game where it's of course it's simplified because they just couldn't push those textures, but like they went above and beyond to redo textures, like just to where it looks, like I said, complex on all the art. Like there's just so much redrawn and drawn completely different in art style. Like you can make stuff better without like overdrawing it. I guess it's hard to explain,
Yeah, they try not to stray too much from the art style that to establish. So I think they just try to enhance the way it looks compared to one where like they kind of went a little crazy with it. Like the ring has like a almost like a dusky or I don't know like a sunset look to it. But it's supposed to be got like a nighttime kind of look to it. So yeah, so like back to what you were saying, it's just like I feel like 343 were kind of I feel like Microsoft kind of pushes them too much. Like not say they don't have bad management issues, but I think like Microsoft pushes their product a little too soon, and that's why they're always kind of like one step behind, and like they're having issues with keeping up stuff. So on top of whatever issues they have, so it's almost like a 2-in-1 problem.
Well, that's why it was nice that they've had 5 years to work on Infinite. Like even though we all understand COVID definitely kicked him in the teeth for the tail end of the development of the game. But hopefully this delay allows them to put the polish that, that's needed.
I agree. I mean, although, yeah, I agree. I mean, although when we next see it again, like I don't want to see like any issues. I don't want to see it running on a Series X. I don't want to see it running on PC or anything like that. That's just like ridiculous. So like, because you want to like show off the console's abilities, like the velocity architecture, the SSD, so you don't see that pop in like the IO whatever.
Well, pop-ins like there PS5 like just like set reasonable expectations. There's always like the pop-in in Halo Infinite in that trailer looked like an early dev issue with pop-in, not a like something that can be fixed. But pop-in will exist next gen. I know PlayStation fanboys have made it sound like the PS5 will never have pop-in again. I can confirm to you that Gran Turismo had pop-in. A lot of their games had a ton of pop-in because it's not that it's early, it's just that pop-in's still going to exist next gen. It's like people are like have they've set expectations for themselves a little too high because of trying to justify like, oh, for less powerful CPU we have a less powerful GPU, we have less speed RAM, but we got the SSD, no pop-in ever. Fuck and it's like, no, dude, like you're gonna still get pop-in. It's not. It might be better, but it's still gonna be there.
Yeah, it looks like the PC version of just like from what I've seen or heard, just like brute forcing it instead of like utilizing the architecture that Xbox has. So I'll be really curious to see how it stacks up like with the actual hardware and like the polish on top of that with the ray tracing. So it's gotta look like really nice at the end of when they finish polishing it. So I'm really curious to see how it'll look. But yeah, sorry if you stayed too long on that one.
No, you're good. Grounded Dev says future updates for Grounded will be adding flying insects and things that do in the water. It's cool. Like a little bit of a fluff article, but at the same time, like I'm kind of excited for Grounded. Like I've played quite a bit of it, and I like the mechanics, and it's an early access game, and yeah, like I'm down with flying insects. It'd be cool to see like what they add to the game mechanically. Is there, you can already grab like weeds and be able to grab them and allow yourself to float, so you can get high and fly kind of a decent distance.
So you can launch yourself like a catapult or something.
There are trampolines, then you can jump up, and then you can pull out it's like a weed, and that is fluffy enough to let you fly, essentially.
Yeah, possibilities are like so endless with this game. Although I'm curious to see where they're gonna go in scope, like beyond the yard. Are you gonna be able to go to other people's yards and kind of like almost like a
I've heard like beach levels and stuff like that, like they're gonna add on, which easily, I could see how they do it, like because you can't really see outside of the yard, but you could easily say, oh, they're like the other side of the yard goes towards the beach, and this side of the yard goes towards I don't know, like just an empty lot that's an acre, and it's that's the MMO version of Grounded. I don't know, like it's kind of interesting to see how they approach this and where they go with it.
I wonder how they would tie that into the story, though. Going from like that to like a beach, I don't know. That's weird. But,
well, I mean, you get around the fence or something, and then there's a beach. It's a beach house. You just never knew there was a beach house. Like,
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do like an adventure across the city too, like Toy Story style.
Yeah. No, totally.
That'd be so awesome. Imagine like it'd be cool if they added a praying mantis and stuff. Imagine like if you think spiders are like crazy, like a praying mantis or like.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
You can introduce them by a praying mantis killing a spider or something.
Yeah. Or like
I mean, you're never gonna have it killing a kid.
That's
not how they could have showed that character. But
yeah, that'd be pretty gruesome. Maybe you can ride an ant and like maybe a flying ant or something. I mean, you can do the Ant-Man thing pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's cool though. I mean, I appreciate the updates. I'm gonna wait for it to be finished before I delve in, but it's looking pretty good progress wise.
Yeah. All right. The Xbox Ultimate Game Sale started. You have awesome, amazing titles down to like $2 if you want to pick up like all the fucking what was it? Duke Nukem games are like $2. For the original like Duke Nukem 3D games. Yeah.
Is that one any good?
I mean, it's a staple in the franchise. It's definitely something I've owned multiple times.
Mm.
And if you want something like in that era of game that was like genre defining, yeah, like you couldn't not look at Duke Nukem. But if you're asking me if it holds up, like it's I mean it's cool to go back to, but I don't know. Like I would never want to replay it. And it would be to own it just to own it, like not to play it. And I mean, it's $2. Now I'm thinking about it, like I could kind of like half tempted just to have it, but at the same time, like I said, I'd never play it, so it's. Let's see, any other good deals? Red Dead's down to $30. Red Dead 2, which I mean that's kind of part like the same deal you've been getting when it goes on sale. Overwatch is $20. That's not bad for all, but Overwatch 2 is coming out soon, but it's still not bad. Overwatch is a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm just skipping over anything that's in Game Pass. If it's in Game Pass, that's the better way of buying, or not buying it, but playing it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is $20.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Session is $15 if you want a skating game, but Tony Hawk Pro Skater just came out. We'll talk about that later. Well, the demo did. The demo did. The warehouse demo.
Is that any good?
Yes. I played 20 sessions, I guess, if you want to call it that way, since they're all 2-minute sessions, Just sit there and bullshit around and fly around. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, $35.99. I know Vern just bought it. He was stoked about it. Like, he's never seen Z, so that's why he picked it up, so he can experience. And if you've never seen Z and you've watched all or read all of the original Dragon Ball, I guess that's not a terrible way of learning the story. I still just tell people to go to Team 4 Star and watch it through that. We got Ancestor. I've considered picking that up for $20.
Yeah,
One where you play as a monkey, and then I guess you evolve, and you have points to evolve.
Yeah, I was tempted.
I'm sorry, an ape, a greater ape. I understand the fucking science behind it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kind of like an evolution type of thing, I guess.
Yeah. Atlas is $10. I know you're excited for that. It's the game
Atlas.
that, yeah, Atlas.
Oh man, nah, I've seen bad reviews for it, so definitely not gonna check that out.
Battlefield 5 is $20 for the Year 2 edition. That's not bad. I mean, there's no more support for that game. They won't be releasing it, but there is a ton of maps, and it still has a very active community. So if Warzone is not enough and you need another game, Battlefield is something I would recommend. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Tempted for that price, but not too sure yet.
No, like I said, like if you're just satisfied with Warzone, I don't think you need to get Battlefield. But to me, Battlefield's, I don't know, it's up there. If at the very least, if you have friends that want to play, you buy a monthly EA Access or EA Play or whatever the fuck they're calling it now for $5, and you play with all of Battlefield. So like it gets you an option that way, and that's cheaper than the sale. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is only $9. I don't know if you're into that at all. Well, I enjoyed the fighting game. I was playing it the other day.
Yeah, I have that one. I got it before when it was on sale because my previous coworker was wanted to play it, so we both kind of chipped in and kind of half and halved it. Yeah, that was a good one. I picked up a few games. I think it was like what did I pick up? Let me see. Hold on.
I'm just gonna keep going through. Like I said, $2 for Duke Nukem 3D 20th anniversary. Fallout 4 is $9. Honestly, that's pretty good. Like $18 if you want the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah,
that's a lot of game.
Oh yeah, I picked up the Vanquish Bayonetta combo.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
How much do they want for that?
It was like 27 or something like that, or 26.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty much like almost 12 and a half each or something, if you want to do that. I picked up a Silent Hill HD collection, which I heard it was like all messed up. So far, so good. I guess the BC on the X kind of fixed some issues.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so far I'm liking it. Gigantosaurus, the game. This is like a kid's game, but I was like, I kind of like platformers, so I was like, let me just try it.
Mass Effect Andromeda Deluxe Edition is $10.
It's a good game. I mean, definitely for $10, pick it up. It's a solid game. I mean, it's not like
it's not the greatest RPG I'll ever play. We're not going to state that, but I mean, it's a decent RPG with, you know, that looks good and plays fairly well. Like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good sci-fi RPG, you know.
And supposedly, we might be getting a remaster to Mass Effect this year. So, fingers crossed.
Is it for all of them or just for one?
I think it's just one. I hope it's all three, because honestly, I would replay that trilogy.
Yeah.
But we were joking about it, and it's like, dude, if it did came out all three, what are you gonna play? Mass Effect trilogy, or that you've played 10 times over at this point, Dustin, or do you play Cyberpunk? The answer is Cyberpunk, but it'd be very tempting to play through the original Mass Effects again.
Yeah.
What is one of my favorite memes is where it's like, play through same game, saying that you're gonna play it differently, or but play it the exact same for the 10th time.
Yeah, I always do that. Like, I can never be like a bad.
I'm gonna be chaotic. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the shittiest person ever. My child. Oh man, let me help you.
Yeah, it never happens, man. For me, I don't know. It's hard.
Tales of Vesperia is only $15. I definitely would recommend that. That's a great game.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a classic 360 JRPG. They got ported to this gen. Before that, it was like exclusive to 360. But yeah, good deals. Good deals.
I'm almost through all the pages. I just wanted to see if there was any other. The Walking Dead, the final season. See, I don't think that's worth it. That's $10. But The Walking Dead, the Telltale, like the one, like the complete set's $24.99. That if you've never played those games, that might actually be a really good set to pick up because they remastered a lot of the games to make them run a lot better.
See, I have that one, but the only thing is they're not like as plentiful the achievements. So if you want to rack up more achievements, you probably want to
better off looking else.
Yeah, I mean, I might just get both just to get the achievements and stuff, even though I'm not like usually like that. But I mean, because like usually the achievements are for like playing the whole thing instead of like each chapter, which gives you a bunch of them. I think it's like 1,000 each or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If it's separate, yeah.
I know. I personally went through and bought a couple Castlevania. I got Harmony of Despair. I already owned Symphony of the Night, but I picked up a few of the Castlevanias I didn't own.
Did you get the collection?
Which one? I got. So I already own Lords of Shadow. I own Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. There's Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Harmony of Despair, and Castlevania Lords of the Shadow. I own all of those now.
Yeah, it's cool that you have all the Lords of Shadow stuff on there in one spot. Yeah, the collection is the ones that they collected from like the SNES and Genesis.
Oh, I didn't. I want this. Honestly, I didn't buy that one because I want the collection 2.0. Like I like it's like the Mega Man X stuff. I didn't want to play. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest Mega Man fan. I wanted to play Mega Man X, and I bought that whole collection. Same way with Castlevania. Like early Castlevania, I'm not the hugest fan of, but like Symphony of the Night, I'm gonna rebuy Symphony of the Night like 5 fucking times by the time they roll out all these collections. But that's kind of what I want is the collection of that era of Symphony of the Night and all those games in one like place, running at 4K because they can. I know the art's not 4K and you're not really going to see anything, but it does make it crisper, if you will.
Yeah, the next collection should be probably Rondo Blood, Symphony of the Night, and probably all the Game Boy Advanced games. Which I'll be curious to see how they look. Usually they don't really look well when they're all blown up on 4K TV, but maybe they can add enough filters it'll look nice.
But there was a bunch of 360 games as well that were, on sale. Like you can get all the old Call of Duties. And let's see, Modern Warfare. Well, Modern Warfare 2 is $15. Modern Warfare is 15. Like I'm doing a LAN party, so I'm thinking in my head like, how many of these do I have to buy to have an awesome LAN party with Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Just on separate accounts.
Yeah, the new ones they don't support LAN.
Well, I mean stuff like the latest one now, but at the same time I'm playing original Halo. Well, for our LAN party, we were going to be doing the Master Chief Collection, just because that covers us for Halo 1 and Halo 2 in LAN. And then we can do 3 and 4 if we wanted. I mean, it doesn't make a difference because Master Chief Collection just supports LAN, which is fucking awesome that they put that in there. But not a lot of games use LAN anymore. They just don't.
No. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean,
and even back then, they just didn't.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's just it's a fun multiplayer game. It's just like it's not the funnest like Halo multiplayer game, but it's still like very fun. So I would recommend 4's multiplayer on LAN too.
Yeah. Like we have 16 people. We'll end up playing a bunch of different Halos. It's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Final Fantasy VII came to Game Pass. I know we had that in there. That was if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, this is not the remake. This is the original Final Fantasy VII game. You can now play it on PC and Xbox as part of Game Pass.
Yeah, I was playing that a little bit. It still holds up pretty well. I mean, I know the graphics are all blocky as shit, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
still fun.
still fun. Xbox users will soon be able to sign into multiple devices simultaneously, according to Windows Central. You have so right now, if I'm on Xbox and I have like let's say Netflix going, and then I grab my phone and turn on XCloud, I will be booted off of my Xbox, even though they've made it so like Netflix can be, you can have just Netflix installed. Like how I do it, I have Netflix installed on a bunch of different free accounts so that it doesn't matter if I'm logged in or not. Netflix just works.
Mm-hmm.
But this allows people to be signed into two locations at the same time, which is neat. I'm curious how this is going to impact games. Because let's say if I'm playing Sea of Thieves on my phone and somebody loads Gears 5 on my Xbox, does it boot us? Or does it like just go, hey, you're playing too many games? Like you can only play one game at a time. Like, and who gets priority? How did they know I'm, the master account and somebody's just using my Xbox? And like, I guess the Xbox will always be the master account, and like the phone wouldn't. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But maybe it will just allow you to watch Netflix under the same username, and then it'll just hide all the notifications going to the Xbox, while the cloud account will get all notifications and allow you to stream your game. I don't. Or will we just be able to both play Sea of Thieves together on my same account? Which I don't even understand how that would work. Like, I guess it would be one instance of a game at a time coming from that Xbox. So theoretically, you could play Gears 5 while I play Sea of Thieves, and it wouldn't be using multiple licenses because I own both of the games.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. See how they would handle that. Because that's kind of like game sharing, pretty much. Like, but multiple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to wait to see more. Like, we're not. Yeah, we haven't gotten that new info for Dash and stuff. Not really.
Mm-mm.
All right, so EA is changing EA Access and EA Origin to EA Play, so you get to play more.
Mm.
Why EA Play? EA Play puts the center of the experience, moving all benefits to a single brand. It's an important step to streamlining our service to ensure that being an EA Play member is the best way to play. Okay, yeah, they're just fucking nullifying this thing down to. I didn't know why they had two different fucking names for it in the first place between like console and PC. Like why not?
Yeah, that was weird.
Like it never made sense to say call one Origin, one Access. Like, I mean, I get it's like we don't want to confuse services. It's like, but you are by fucking adding more names. Like.
Yeah, it is.
We understand it's like a Netflix style service where you sign in and you get to play. Like it's, I don't know.
Why don't they just call it Origin?
I don't know. I can't answer these crazy questions. All I know is I heard a rumor that EA Access might actually end up being part of Game Pass, like them folding it in to that library. Which if you figure it's a $5 a month thing for them, it kind of makes sense for them to roll it into Game Pass, and then to roll it into whatever Sony's solution is as well, like with maybe PlayStation. I don't know, but it'd make more sense for them to do that than have their own platform on games.
Yeah, I suppose because I don't feel like they offer that that many games to make it worth it.
Yeah,
it's not like EA
so if they can get like the money off of like Game Pass and kind of what they were getting off of EA Access anyway, why not just roll it in, and you can easily just have games pop in and out when you want, and you don't have to deal with the infrastructure for it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I see worth it is maybe early access to the games, like, but even then, they're like, I don't know, like if I were to use EA Play maybe for like Star Wars, I don't know, maybe some.
Usually we try Madden a couple days before and go, hey, I'm still not buying this, and then you just don't,
Yeah. Or like if they fix up Anthem, that would be a good kind of games of service they even add in there.
Yeah.
It's enticing, but other than that, yeah, EA, unless EA were making like more games, I don't think it would be like that much of a good service. But
Yeah.
it's all good.
Like I said, if they roll it in Game Pass, I'll be happy. I'll be honest, I unsubscribed from EA Access because it just wasn't. There wasn't enough things where I wanted to try stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I early in EA Access's life, I definitely thought I got my value out of it for sure. Like it's just nowadays it's just so lackluster where it's not like, oh, I want to try this game or that game. I might actually buy this game now that I tried it on EA Access. Like,
Yeah,
I
also
don't have
games
that anymore. Yeah.
yeah, I know the games are on sale so often and so cheap that it just nullifies the reason to get it.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We had a Hot Chips deep dive. So they were showing like the architecture for the Xbox Series X at Hot Chips, and what that is kind of an event where they get to sit down and show a bunch of slides off about how the architecture is going to work. And I can quote numbers like they said 3 to 10 times the ray tracing performance, stuff like that, but it doesn't mean anything until we actually see it because we don't understand AMD's solution yet because AMD hasn't had a ray tracing card yet. So unlike, it's not an apples to apples comparison to Nvidia. So it's hard to tell you what these numbers actually mean. I mean, it was cool to see that like the audio chip in Xbox is a lot more robust than a lot of PlayStation fanboys thought.
Yeah.
But it's like the hot chips. It's interesting. It's fun to watch people pull up the numbers. But that's like it's not. It's nothing that you're gonna like hit and get. You don't know until we see what AMD's cards are gonna do. Like we just don't know. Anything beyond speculations just being unfair to everybody. Like it's gonna either overhype or underhype you for where your expectations are gonna be.
Yeah, the problem is we don't have any like actual games running on the hardware to see what the ray tracing, like how the architecture works with the games, to show off like the way how it handles ray tracing. So yeah, it's hard to get much out of this. I mean, besides just cool tech talk, but we'd have to see the actual
Well,
performance.
even like the tech talk doesn't mean much without like some like understanding where AMD's performance is, and we just don't know.
Right.
AMD's been so quiet about Ryzen 2 and all that. Like we just don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not apples to apples. Like you can't just say, "Oh, it's going to be theoretically going by the numbers." The Series X and PS5 are going to be stronger than a 2080 Ti when it comes to ray tracing performance, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still unfair because we don't know what the fuck if it really means that or not. Because you don't know, like we haven't seen any AMD card do ray tracing.
Right.
Not in the new architecture and everything with the new ray tracing hardware in it. I mean, AMD's been kicking ass recently, so I'm not going to be shocked that it's really powerful and it does compete with those Nvidia cards or outperforms them. And they don't want to be so far behind where the 3000 series from Nvidia is coming out and they get trounced, like just pounced like instantly.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're going to be more powerful than a 2080 Ti.
And what sucks that you're not gonna have your flagship game, like your flagship Halo game, to kind of show off the ray tracing until like 2021, 2022 or something. I mean, 2021, I guess it was
Yeah.
the delay date, but yeah, that's like that would be like your game to show.
All right. So we got some patch notes for Apex. I'm gonna let you do the deep dive in this one, man. If you remember any of it.
Yeah, well, the main thing is they added a new legend. It was what was her name? Rampart. Yeah. So she designed like some of the guns that you see in the battle pass from last season. It was I think what was the gun's name? it's like a pretty hard hitting handgun. The name escapes me at the moment,
I
but
don't play Xbox or Apex. I'm sorry.
that's all right. But yeah. So she's a new character. She has abilities like she can put up like barrier walls that you can shoot down, but it gives you a bit of cover. She reloads light machine guns and faster speeds. And she also her ultimate is like a huge cannon, like a almost like a minigun that just shoots everything, shoots the shit out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They changed the way the shields work so that the Evo shields are like the main way everybody has to level up. They do have gold shields still, but they're scattered around and they're not upgradable because like the standard shields go up to red, which is like past the purple. Purple is pretty good, but red is like the last stage. They reduced the amount of hits you can take with it. I think they took down like 1 or 2 bars, so which kind of sucks. But I think they wanted to make the gameplay faster and quicker deaths and stuff like that. They added another gun called the Vault, which is from Titanfall, I think 2, I think it is. Might have been in 1 as well, but not 100%. So it's a really good like submachine gun, or I don't know if it's an assault rifle or a submachine gun, but it shoots like fast rounds of like energy. So it's a really good weapon though. What else? They also added. What did they add? Oh, they added more stuff to like the stage. It's World's Edge. They changed the some locations have like more stuff like tech added to it. Like there's like a rocket ship in one of the areas, and they added barriers and a lot more tech stuff to it. I mean, it was not like a huge drastic change, but it's they're kind of slowly transforming the stage into like a big Hammond tech thing, which is interesting. Um, what else? I mean, they kind of buffed and nerfed certain characters, but I don't want to get too far into that. But yeah, new battle pass, really cool weapons and stuff. They added some cool costumes in there, worth taking a look and getting the battle pass for. Although sometimes they just save all the good stuff too for like these very expensive what are they called, collection events, which are really annoying because they make them look so enticing, and it's very greedy because there's still loot boxes, so you have to like get the right combination. I guess I don't know. It's pretty annoying, but I'm sure they're gonna do it again because they don't have every character's new skins in the battle, so they usually save those for like the event collection, the collection events and stuff. But yeah, that was the Apex thing. It's really fun though. I really enjoy it. More Apex, the better. I'm not gonna play any more of that Hyperscape. I already played too much battle royale games as it is. So
yeah, I tried it and I didn't. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it myself.
yeah, it feels a little cheap. I don't know. It feels like almost like a knockoff. I don't know, like one of those. What was that team that does? What's not League of Legends? It's the other one. Smite.
Mm-hmm.
They do like those kind of copycat games, but they're still good. I felt like that.
I mean, it's not a bad game, and I wouldn't like harp on anybody that likes it. I don't know. I didn't feel it. Played a couple rounds, and I was just like, this is whatever. Like I'm happy with Warzone and battles, Battlefield or whatever. My collection of games is good. I don't need to add more in a sense, not when it comes to battle royales or like big multiplayer games. Like,
yeah, there are plenty of games like that already. I mean, the cool thing is that's in the city, though. You haven't seen that in the battle royale, like a huge city.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, there's a lot of verticality to the levels and everything, which is interesting. I don't know. There's cool things in it. I just didn't feel it. Yeah, just wasn't. It wasn't for me.
Same here.
All right, we have new games coming to Game Pass. We have Battletoads, Flight Simulator, just to name a couple big ones. Wastelands 3, Double Kick Heroes, Resident Evil Biohazard, which is pretty big. Is it Spitfire, I guess? And Super Lucky's Tale, the new Super Lucky's Tale, which is different from Super Lucky's Tale.
They altered that one so that the camera's better. They made a lot of changes to that one.
Yeah, different level, changed up some levels, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how much it is physically. I don't know. I doubt they'll give you an upgrade path, but
probably not. But it is. It's coming to Game Pass, so there it is.
Yeah.
Darksiders Genesis is coming to PC. Crusaders Kings the Third is coming to PC, and Crossing Souls is PC.
That's a good indie game. That's on PlayStation first. I'm curious if that's gonna. I mean, most likely they'll come to Xbox because the Messenger came to Xbox, although that took like a few months, and that was on PC first.
Have you had a chance to play Flight Simulator or Battletoads?
Yeah, I did buy Battletoads. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's a nice small game. Yeah, it's I would say a quality game.
Yeah, the Metacritic did go up. Surprisingly, it's not like a 69 game anymore.
Yeah,
it's like 72 or 71 or something. I mean, I expected to fluctuate up to even, I don't know, 67 or something. I don't know. You never know Metacritic, but
yeah,
it's pretty fun. I like it.
I'm not through all of Act 1, but I don't know if, I think you tweeted this to me. If you beat Act 1 in Battletoads, you get an awesome Sea of Thieves ship.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Vern has already beaten Act 1, so we got to get on the ship. It was pretty much instantly available once he beat it, so we checked it out. It's a really cool looking ship. But also at the same time, like when I was doing the office work in Battletoads Act 1, that was hilarious. I really enjoyed that. Like they had like these, it's hard. Like one of my friends was like, is it a platform or what? It's like, man, it's different types of games. Like it's not one thing, which honestly for Battletoads I think makes sense. Because I think there's Battletoads that people remember being this like dumb thing as a child, and then there's actually what Battletoads which was a very hard platformer that just kicked your teeth in.
Yeah, it's sort of like a variety
game. I think this game does a good job at letting you enjoy it without like feeling like it's kicking your teeth.
Yeah, it's not
Cuphead hard or anything, but it's like it gets difficult. Like it's not a super easy game that you can like 1,000 achievement in, but it's not something you're going to spend like 50 hours trying to master. Which I mean, there's certainly you could do that to get all the different like achievements for it, but what were you going to say? Well, I'm sorry.
No, that's right. I feel like this is like a big missed opportunity to just promote it as like a summer arcade game. It comes out usually around this time, right? Like summer arcade games.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually like late August or mid, depending.
Well, they got rid of Summer Arcade, which is just, I don't think they'll ever live that one down.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. It was a nice like promotional thing
for indie devs, or smaller development games, not even just indie devs,
Yeah, they basically just curate all the good stuff and then just put it on the like.
But I will say, I don't want to see, like, if they make a sequel to Battletoads, which I think they should. I don't want to see it to ever get any bigger than this. You know what I mean? Like, it should always be a smaller size title. I don't need a AAA Battletoads game.
Yeah.
Or an MMO. Or, or a fucking Battle Royale Battletoads game. Don't need it. Now that I say it, though, I kind of want a Battle Royale Battletoads game. I don't know how you would design it or make it, but, get to it. Make the most awesome battle royale with Rash.
What about a 3D beat 'em up?
Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
But like I said, scope wise, I think they should stay kind of in this box. It's just a fun game you can pick up and play, and it's not too crazy. Like you're not going, oh man, I'm gonna play Battletoads. This is a 40-hour game. No, it's like, no, I'm gonna have a good. I don't know. Act 1 took me, I don't know, 2 hours. I'm not even that. I'm not done with Act 1, but maybe it'll take an hour, hour and a half, 2. I'm happy with that. If I get like a 5 or 6 hour game out of Battletoads and I enjoy it, that's all I can ever ask for, you know?
Yeah. Mission complete.
Yeah. I just don't need a 40-hour adventure from it.
Yeah.
Remnant from the Ashes, the story so far. Did you get a chance to actually read this article? Like about what's going
Yeah,
on?
well, it's just recapping all the development stuff that they've gone through. Because basically what's leading up to is today's release, which is subject 2459 or something like that. I forget the
2923 DLC releases August 20th.
Yeah, so it's a $10 DLC. I bought it today. It's an expansion of the base game. It's a separate. It's after you beat it, you can play the expansion, which takes place after the main story. It's like a snowy area with like I guess rat people or something on it. It's very interesting. It's a cool game though. I definitely recommend it. What's funny is that they keep reselling the game as packaged as a new edition once they release these updates and stuff, which is kind of annoying. But I guess they do what they got to do.
Yeah. Uh, let's see. Halo Infinite has also released a new soundtrack, Through the Trees. It's a good interview through Halo Waypoint with Garrett Coker and what's the audio producer? You remember?
I forget
We
his
asked
name.
Gareth and Curtis. This is what Curtis something. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, it's like 3 composers actually. It's like
Yeah.
making the work of one, which is Marty.
But Garrett, I'm excited. Gareth Coker is working on it. Like he did an amazing job in a bunch of smaller games. It's cool to see him like finally kind of get tacked onto like a huge game.
Yeah, it's yeah, the soundtrack is really good. I like the new one, Through the Trees. It's what they're doing is pretty much what Marty did with the older Halos. Like he kept iterating on each sequel, so they would like sound a bit different. The next one, but familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what they're doing. It's not like, and what I like is they're not like all full heavy action like the way Halo 5 was. 4, well, 4 is a bit of a mix of everything, but it's kind of a closer uh,
Five's music
sound.
was awesome. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's I know what you're saying, but five like not like music wise was really good. I forgot the composer for it, but I know Vern and Maria were both disappointed that he wouldn't be doing Infinite,
yeah, it
and
was
I
too.
trust
I
their
like,
takes on
yeah,
on anything when it comes to like music in a game.
yeah, I think
Uh,
his name was Kazuma Jinoichi or something like that. I forget. Let me see.
yeah.
I'll look that up. But yeah, I liked Five soundtrack a lot. It was kind of veering back to the original Halo stuff, but it was very like string based and like very action packed. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like the way they're going back to Marty O'Donnell's kind of more kind of peaceful, sort of fun sound, I guess. So we'll see.
Mm.
Hopefully, it all sounds pretty good once they all put it together.
Yeah. So we also got the new Xbox dashboard. They were taught about like the dashboard being like 40% faster or something like that, coming from game into Dash on the November update. We
Mm-hmm.
saw a brief teaser of an animated background. Uh, what else? What else was it? It was like 40% faster. And then it was just UI. Like everything's gonna be have rounded corners going for icons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not they. I mean, they hinted at things, but we still haven't gotten like a true like, hey, this is what's coming. Uh, for like update when it comes to what's going like new features in the UI, which is what people care about. It's pretty much like, hey, it's gonna look a little bit more like the store that we're releasing in the next couple weeks, and it's gonna push. It's gonna be faster and it's gonna look cleaner and just work better. But like they didn't show off like, are they changing my games and apps, which honestly, they finally got my games and apps not running super poorly. So like, I hope they don't fuck that up because they want rounded corners.
Yeah, it's pretty much
yeah,
like a copy and paste. They just, like you said, rounding the corners, and
they're
I
doing
like
UI
that they,
improvements. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I do like that they took the style from the store and just transplanted it over to the main UI to make it look more cohesive.
yeah,
And the speed is great. Is everything's like way too like laggy, and like it gets stuck sometimes. Or you got to quit out of it.
yeah.
It's very, I don't know, all over the place. Like no matter how much they improve it, there's always an issue. So hopefully this one gives it speed it needs, and hopefully it doesn't like glitch out every once like all that as much as it does now.
Yeah. All right, but that covers it for news this week. I think we've run it down. Big news: Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman in the Flash.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a very short thing. I don't think he's going to be a huge role in it.
yeah, I don't think so either.
Like, I really think they're just doing, because there's been like, you know, they talked to George Clooney, they talked, you know, now we know Ben Affleck. I really think it's just Flashpoint, and they can easily, you know, kind of give their nods, and justifiably so, and, you know, pun intended, to all the Batmans, because I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I mean, he had some crappy scripts, you know, you could argue, but like him as Batman and Bruce Wayne, he worked. Like he looked the part. He, like, it was that, hey, Batman can beat the shit out of you, like, to the point like shit, that dude might be dead. Like, who knows? We don't know. Like, this is old, you know, Batman, where he's just kind of like done with like trying to be nice to people. He's just kind of that gruesome Batman, and that's an awesome take on Batman. But, you know, and that's the Batman you would want to Flashpoint off of. Like, you don't want to just sit there and be like, yeah, this Batman people, like, you know, this good, jolly good Batman is gonna now become Twilight Batman, you know.
So, is Ben Affleck's Batman going to become the Thomas Wayne, or is that supposed to be the Michael Keaton character? I'm kind
I
of
would think
confused.
it would be Michael Keaton or Clooney, or I don't know, whoever. Pick your old Batman just as your nod. I think they're Thomas Wayne, and I think Ben Affleck starts as the Batman. Like, you just have him as, you know, the original. Like, hey, this is the DC extended universe, and Ben Affleck's there, and he's Batman, and like Barry don't go back in time and fuck with shit, because you're just gonna fuck it up, and he does it anyway, and then that way you can have Clooney or whoever, whichever Batman you want, Michael Keaton or whoever, and, you know, Mr. Mom can sit there and have an adventure with Ursula Miller for, I don't know, 45 minutes, and then you end it
Yeah.
with him dropping a note off to, you know, Patterson being Batman, like going, hey, you know, like, this, your dad sent you this message, like, and it's, you know, it's a good emotional little scene on how they wrap up Flashpoint.
Yeah, I don't know, because based on the comics, like what they would probably have to do is have um, Ben Affleck kind of lead up to like Ezra Miller redoing the time thing, and then Affleck's gone, and then he's working with Michael Keaton,
Yeah,
Batman, and
for
then
Thomas Wayne.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
So
Thomas
for people
Wayne.
that don't know, Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint, like, Thomas Wayne lives and Martha Wayne lives,
Yeah,
and Bruce
Bruce
Wayne's
died.
the one that dies. Martha Wayne becomes the Joker. Thomas Wayne becomes the Batman. But
Yeah,
like,
really interesting.
it's a cool take to see like a family get fractured, and they fill in those roles.
Yeah. Then probably it'll be like Pattinson will be like pretty much like New 52 Batman, pretty much.
Yeah,
And then they would just they kind of that would gracefully kind of exit the Ben Affleck version, because that would be kind of like the pre Flashpoint Batman, I guess.
yeah,
It'd be awesome to see Michael Keaton back in a bat suit again, like the orange bat instead of like the yellow. That'd be so cool.
yeah. But just, I think he'd be an awesome, you know, he's old enough. It'd be an awesome Thomas Wayne Batman. Like time would have,
definitely.
like you'd be like, man, this dude, and he could pull off that. I don't know, like that mean Batman, like because essentially the Batwing doesn't exist. He just has a private jet where he takes people to his casinos. Like he's not the Batman you know and love. Like he's just this kind of fucked up, I'm gonna hurt the bad guys Batman. So
you think they would base it off the Tim Burton version, or are they gonna have just its own like Flashpoint version of Batman?
I don't know. I think they just do whatever they want at this point. Like they need to have a solid vision, because if they do Flashpoint correctly, they can just choose the versions they want. So if people really like the Snyder Cut coming up this year, and like the Snyder Cut becomes this like, man, the Snyder Cut's really good, and I hated the original Justice League, but this new one is great. You can easily retcon and say, oh, hey, all that stuff happened. It's true. The Snyder Cut's the real version.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can just go, yeah, like the other stuff did happen, but that's not this universe. That was the last universe, and you could just get away with everything. But Wonder Woman's still going to be Wonder Woman, and Aquaman's still Jason Momoa, and he's Aquaman, and Shazam's the same, and none of that shit changes. It's just all the shit y'all didn't like. Yeah, that's the stuff that fractured, and that's what Barry broke, and that's becomes the new DC universe. Like you just,
it's basically conveniently just retcon over distant.
And then like the one chick that was playing, what was the female lead in Aquaman?
Andromeda.
Yeah, you can easily just say, and now she's a different person because Flashpoint, like, you could just totally change almost everything. No, you literally can change anything. It's just, time fractured. People are different.
Yeah, I liked her as Mira, but, like, all that shit that's going on with her, it's like, man.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just a get out of jail free card for them. They can just do a Flashpoint movie. And they can still do in the other movies because you can still say, yep, all those are canon. Like,
yeah, some people are vouching for Emilia Clarke from the Game of Thrones because they both had starred together in that show.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, she's pretty tiny, man.
Yeah. All right. That was almost the big news that came out today, I guess.
Yeah.
Saturday we are getting DC Con or whatever the fuck DC Fan Con or whatever they're calling it. Yeah, so we'll have more DC stuff to talk about next week. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to see where they're leading the DC universe because the characters are all cool. So let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, because for the longest time it was like they were like in weird limbo. Like nobody knew what was gonna go on with the DC universe, and like a lot of issues happened while Jeff Johns and what was his name? Kevin Sujihara. I know it was the previous WB like CEO president. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, a lot of weird issues. Like they were just focusing on like solo films for a while, and then like nobody knew what was going on. So it's good that they're getting their shit together back in. Like get the Snyder Cut, get that out, and then the David Ayer Suicide Squad. Hopefully they'll.
Yeah, because that one's supposed to be like pretty much all the way done. So that'd be cool if we got that on HBO Max, like just to see what that cut is.
Yeah, because that would coincide well with the other Suicide Squad movie that's going on with the what's his name, director James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
So he's I'm not sure. Is that supposed to be like a sequel? But like. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Like we'll find out on fucking Saturday, I guess. Like I really, because that movie was just weird and trashy and just bolted together. It felt like because it wasn't even the casting that was the issue. The script was just so fucking weird. Because it's just like, oh, we got to redo this, and like the bad guy should be this instead of this and this, and it's just like, what, like. You have like Enchantress and all these cool characters, and you couldn't figure out how to fucking do like a basic Suicide Squad, like.
Yeah, so the Enchantress parts was the parts that they refilmed, or because I know it's supposed to be him. I guess it was supposed to be Joker and versus Suicide Squad, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one guy though, so it's weird. Maybe he has a lot of thugs.
Well, I mean, like, I just think they should have done a Night at Arkham, and you could still had Ben Affleck Batman in it. You could have, and he's not a primary role. You could have still had the Joker. You could have done all those characters. It's a story people know and love, and it would have been really cool to see it done in live action. Like, you didn't need to try to like bolt together some weird fucking Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, they could have done like an awesome like Joker, like Batman trying to prevent Joker from getting killed by Suicide Squad. That would have been an awesome premise.
Yeah.
Because that way you have like three different factors there. You got Amanda Waller or Suicide Squad trying to take out the Joker, but Batman's like, nah, you can't be doing that, son.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interest. Yeah. There's just other interesting takes. They just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm a huge DC fanboy, but Suicide Squad.
So what do you think they're gonna put a Deathstroke in? Because he appeared at the end of Justice League, right?
I mean, I think if the Snyder Cut is taken really well, I think you see Deathstroke kind of fall into the next Batman movie.
Yeah.
I don't like the one after Patter, like the initial Patter. I don't think you put him in the first Batman movie of Patterson. I think that's just too much. Not to say I want to see Batman's origin story again. Like that was what was nice about Ben Affleck, though. It's like we skipped all the origin bullshit. It was just like, hey, Batman's established. Like he's there. Like, and it's just kind of nice that we didn't have to fucking do Batman Begins again. But it's kind of what we're going to get with Patterson, and since that's going to be the case, I don't want Deathstroke there day one just to be like, and I'm going to kill the Batman. Like, it's just too much for one film to do an intro. Like, you could have totally done a Ben Affleck versus Deathstroke, Batman versus, Deathstroke movie. Because that would have been, like, where gritty Batman worked more than anything. It's like, hey, this character can't like get hurt in the same way. So Ben Affleck can beat the shit out of that dude and people can't complain about it. Like, but you still get those awesome fight sequences.
Yeah, I mean, he would fit pretty well in Suicide Squad too. Like he fits in both universes. I mean, unfortunately, there's no because I feel like he's mostly a Teen Titans character though at this point.
Yeah, a lot of he reacts a lot to the Titans.
Yeah, so he's I feel like he's more. I mean, he's kind of an overall villain for the DCU.
Oh no, the whole DC. He's fucked up Superman in comics. He's fucked up everybody. Like he's just one of those ultimate like villains.
Like, yeah, but he's always been tied to like.
But he's like Batman, where it's prep time, Like he knows exactly the situation he's gonna go and get in, and he has his prep, and he will fuck people up.
So, like, who do you think his main like rival is? Isn't it like Robin based, like Nightwing? Because he kind of grew up fighting Deathstroke, really.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Like at this point in the comic, yeah, I would say Nightwing's his like top opponent.
Yeah,
but it'd be like saying who's Lobo's number one. Like, I mean, I guess Superman, but like he has been in a lot of shit, and you just let Lobo be Lobo. Like, it's kind of what you do with Deathstroke. Deathstroke's a cool character. You can fucking just toss in, and Deathstroke's just like, no, like I get hired. It's cool to have him hired by Lex Luthor to do shit, or then he just breaks that contract or does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Because he is an assassin for hire, that's his whole MO. Like, that was what was really cool about him being on Lex Luthor's boat at the end. It was just like, yeah, fucking Lex Luthor and Deathstroke. That makes sense. Like, he's hired an assassin to go kill Batman because Batman fucked up his plans to get, fight Superman. Like, I know it sounds corny, but yeah, it would have been cool. That was really cool at the end of that, and the end credits.
I always feel like he outclasses Batman and Nightwing all the time. Like, there's no way they should win because he's so good. So it's like,
well, like Batman doesn't like because he has prep time. Batman like he's the only person that preps before Batman preps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because everybody gives Batman prep time, and like, oh, Batman can beat anybody. Batman can he's so overpowered with his prep time bullshit superpower, because that's what it is. It's a superpower called prep time. But Deathstroke has superpowers and does the prep time. Like, he is ready to fucking fuck up Batman in a moment's notice.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if Nightwing or Batman would have to take out Deathstroke, they would have to pretty much have to out.
They'd call Superman, like, yo, this dude, take him.
or you'd have to boost Nightwing or Batman's like abilities or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's I want to see a Deathstroke in some kind of live action movie. It'd be cool.
Yeah, the guy I picked is pretty good. He's fucking huge. Joe Manganiello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, like, you look at him, you're like, yep, that's Deathstroke. I'm good with this. I don't have no issues. Perfect
Flash
casting.
Thompson. Yeah, Flash Thompson from Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man. It's crazy.
All right, well, that's it for movie talk, I guess. Have you been playing anything? I've played Flight Simulator and Battletoads and a tiny bit of Sea of Thieves.
Oh, how's Flight Sim?
It's cool. Like, it's I flew over my house like 30 times. You just creep on like your old life, and you like fly over your old neighborhoods you grew up in, stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that's like, this shit looks real. Looks fucking great. Like, it's awesome. I'm playing with all the assists on easy because I'm a bitch, and I just wanted to fly around looking at stuff. Like, that's it hit all those, but I can see, like, if anybody had, like, I saw somebody was doing a trip from, I think it was Los Angeles to Dubai or something like that, and it was like a 17-hour trip, and they were just fly, like, they were in an actual cockpit playing the game, flying a 747 from one to the other, and there was like, they were just drinking alcohol, and of course the whole thread was just people making Airplane the movie jokes, and it's just like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? It just looks awesome and fun.
He didn't pass out in that long trip.
No, I think it was like a group of like 4 or 5 people doing it. Yeah.
So do you have to like pretty much like, it's like crazy realistic? You have to like turn on all the instruments and see what they all do and all that shit.
Different difficulty settings, like I had assist on for everything and made it really easy. Where like I had to unlock the brakes, and you get throttle, reduce throttle, left, right, change rudders and stuff like that. But it wasn't too unmanageable, and I was using an Xbox controller. But at the same time, like, I can see, like, yeah, you can turn on everything, and then you're hitting all the buttons and doing everything to fly a plane.
So do you have to have a predetermined path, or can you just fly anywhere?
So you can hit your departure and then just not put in a arrival, and then just fly, and then you don't have to have one. But it is kind of nice to have a course at the same time. So I would say for your like first flight up, probably put in an arrival, and that way you can like, oh, I want to go over there and like try to do something. Unless you really just want to look at your house, and then you find the closest airport to your house and just take off and fly over. That way you don't have something yelling at you going, hey, you're off course, you're doing this. Like, what the fuck?
So it wouldn't be a good idea to travel from like New York to like Africa. It's better just to start from like England to Africa.
Yeah, because it's realistic flight time. So like, if it takes 10 hours to get there, it will take you 10 hours to fly it in the game. Like, there's no fast forwarding or like anything like that.
There's no nitrous boost.
Nope, no nitro. No, it's not a Crimson Skies. Holding Y to zoom off. But yeah, it's really cool. Definitely worth checking out if you have a PC that can play it. Which I'm using, don't get me wrong, my CPU is really powerful, but I'm using like a 580, like a cheap CPU or GPU. Yeah. And it ran it just fine at 1080p. Then I put it down to medium settings, like just to make sure it was running at like kind of a lock 60, and it ran fine for me. I know Jason has a 2070 Super, and we were doing it in 4K, and you have to turn off the fucking the traffic, or it will bog down your system. It just like it takes a lot of performance to show traffic apparently. But what is cool about it is with traffic, if you have it on, it actually will see what the traffic is actually like on the streets in that area and replicate it. So traffic's accurate, not just the weather. It's fucking hilarious.
That's an engineering marvel, all the stuff they put in there.
Yeah.
All the technology.
But it's just really cool. Really cool. I could see like some really cool RTS games coming out of it.
Yeah.
But it has to be overhead. Like once you get like really low to the ground, of course you see the imperfections, but
yeah,
from, you know, even like just a couple thousand feet, it just looks beautiful.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty cool. One day I'll try it.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming to Xbox, so it's probably going to be one of those Series X games. So,
yeah.
All right, but yeah, it's all I played. What have you been playing, sir?
Yeah, a little bit about Battletoads, like we discussed. Apex, season 8. Just playing a little bit of Dying Light, co-op with a friend. I've never beat that game. What else have I been playing? Destiny 2, like usual. PUBG. A lot of games with like battle passes and stuff that to like grind away at every day.
Yeah,
exhausting, but I paid for it, so I might as well do it. Let me see what else. See last used. Okay. What else? I was playing a little bit of Saints Row on 360. GTA 4, Crackdown, MCC, Luminous, Vanquish, Bayonetta, a little bit of Sea of Thieves, but not much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not like my usual plus Battletoads really, and some of the games I bought from the sale. So that's it for me.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in this week. We will be back next week, hopefully, with everybody. We delayed it today to get Steph and everybody in, but he was still feeling under the weather today. So we will be, getting everybody back next week. But until then, we want everybody to stay safe and healthy and take it easy. So peace out, everybody.
Later, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And send letters to Xbox.